It's Friday night in the West, and suddenly there are these reports of an armed uprising.
Now to that major development in the war in Ukraine. Trouble brewing within the Russian ranks.
An unprecedented armed rebellion inside Russia.
It is shocking to see tanks in the streets in Russia. We haven't seen anything like that since 1991 and 1993. It's a real shock to the system to see these images and to understand what's behind them.
Leading the mutiny, Yevgeny Prigozhin, a mercenary renowned for his brutality, and until that day, Vladimir Putin's close ally.
As more reports come in, more video comes in, you're seeing that there are actually, troops moving into Rostov, and that they're actually taking in the headquarters.
Мы находимся в штабе, 7 часов 30 минут утра, под контролем военные объекты Ростова в том числе.
The mercenary force, this Wagner force, was probably the most capable Russian force that has been fighting in Ukraine until recently. They are battle-hardened, and they're frankly motivated by their leader who was there with them in the field.
There was video of Prigozhin and senior generals sitting around talking together. They didn't have to fight their way into the headquarters. National Guard troops didn't roll out to confront them. When they took the military headquarters,
The armed uprising then turned directly towards Putin. The troops headed to Moscow, to his seat of power.
There was no one defending Putin. There was no one expressing outrage that there was a mutiny going on, much less trying to stop the mutiny.
In those first hours of crisis, Putin was nowhere to be seen.
A military force is moving in on Moscow, and there's no sign that the president is taking any action. And in fact, it sounds like he was trying to get out of Moscow. He was losing his nerve, and that's very unusual for Vladimir Putin.
When the Russian leader finally went before the cameras, he was shaken.
Это удар в спину нашей стране и нашему народу.
Putin's demeanor was anger, not in control. He was clearly panicked.
Повторю, любая внутренняя смута – смертельная угроза для нашей государственности, для нас, как нации. Это удар по России, по нашему народу.
It was a breathtaking moment. This was the first time in more than 20 years of Vladimir Putin's rule in which there was a serious challenge to the monopoly of power of the state, which was the entire rationale for Putin's presidency and his leadership throughout these last 2 decades.
Vladimir Putin, a self-styled Russian strongman, now appeared vulnerable.
Even a failed coup can be dangerous. It reveals that the emperor has no clothes, right? It reveals that it is conceivable to stand against him. And if you're Putin, you're looking around that room and you're saying, which of these people has a knife in his belt? Which of these people might be thinking about moving on me next? It had to have worried him that he didn't necessarily know where the threats could come from.